news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM, New York.
Good afternoon. It's 81 degrees at 2 o'clock. I'm Bud Mishkin. Here's what's happening. On the road, the rails, and yes, even in the skies, it is a busy travel weekend. How about those skies? Any better? We'll check in with AccuWeather. Case of alleged dog abuse that boggles the mind, allegedly in an effort to toughen up the dog. Carjacking of a livery cab driver at 4 in the morning, thrown out of his own cab. He is bruised, but okay. And a new report that blames both the Trump and Biden administrations for the American withdrawal from Afghanistan. Sports, the Mets back at it this afternoon against the Giants at Citi Field. The Yankees are playing a day-night split doubleheader. They were rained out last night in St. Louis. AccuWeather, warm, increasingly sticky with a high of 83. Wings News Time 2:01. That's time for traffic and transit with Russ Meyer.
But we'll talk first about the Queens scene and a vehicle fire on the northbound side of the Van Wyck. It's over by coming in towards the a little bit north of the Belt Parkway, where we have that being dealt with. Also on the northbound side of Whitestone Expressway, coming in towards Cross Island Parkway. That is the side of an accident involving a vehicle fire, and that leaves all lanes subject to closure. So that delay is going to go all the way down to Roosevelt Avenue at this point. And also, you've got a stall on the Whitestone Bridge going into the Bronx. That's been out there for a while, taking out a lane. So that whole area is just at a dead stop. Go with the Clearview if that's an option for you, because it is doing fine. Southbound Cross Island Parkway, that is tied up off of the Throgsnake Bridge on down to the LIE. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. Got a delay now on the eastbound side of the Grand Central into the northern state coming from Cross Island Parkway out of Lakeville Road. The LIE would be better. Also a minor incident on the eastbound southern state coming in towards Eagle Avenue. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. The Lower East River actually pretty good. There's some delays at the Williamsburg Bridge going into Manhattan. This report is sponsored by seafood.nj.gov. When you're talking about seafood, the word that matters most is fresh. When you're looking for fresh seafood, the place that matters most is the Jersey Shore. You go to a restaurant in Jersey, you're getting the freshest seafood you'll get anywhere. You'll know it from the first bite. Find your next delicious meal at seafood.nj.gov. Traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the ones, breaking traffic alerts whenever they happen. I'm Russ Meyer, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Objectively, the song of songs for a long drive or even a short one. You may have heard that this is a big travel weekend. Not exactly breaking news there. Even more people expected on the road than pre-pandemic levels. Here's correspondent Rena Roy.
This weekend could be even busier than usual, and that is because a record number of people will be hitting the roads. AAA is expecting more than 43 million Americans to drive to their destination this weekend. That's up 2.4% from last year and 4% from pre-pandemic levels in 2019. So there is no question the roads will be packed.
TSA is expecting to screen more than 17 million passengers this weekend, so if you're flying, take some patience. Airports are expected to be very busy, and that was before all the problems of this past week. How about the air for the rest of us here on terra firma? Let's check in with AccuWeather's John Feerick. John?
Yeah, but the air quality has certainly improved since yesterday. It's still not certainly perfect, but we do have moderate air quality at this point, with some places still seeing those numbers up over 100, up into the Hudson Valley, portions of Connecticut. That's considered more unhealthy for sensitive groups. We do anticipate this will continue to improve as we head through the next couple of days, but it does look like we're going to see some showers and storms out there, which will help it improve. But coming on a holiday weekend, certainly we would prefer dry weather, but it looks like some downpours tomorrow and Monday, and then maybe a pop-up storm for the 4th, but most of the day will be dry. Bud?
All right, John, thank you. Wins News Time 2:04. In a city where you think you've seen just about everything, a story about alleged abuse of a dog, apparently in an effort to toughen up the dog.
Shatik Bennett is accused of torturing his pit bull and aggravated cruelty to animals. The NYPD says he dangled his pit bull by its leash from a 5th-floor banister. If that wasn't bad enough, the police say he threw the dog down the staircase, and then at another point he dangled the dog again by the leash attached to the staircase railing. The dog's name is Romeo, and the police say despite how Romeo was treated, he's really a friendly, sweet dog. All this allegedly happened in an apartment building at 280 East 21st Street in East Flatbush. Jean-Pierre lives in that building, and he said that's no way to treat your pet.
The dog is the most friendly animal that somebody can have around. Because when you have a dog, you have a companion. You have a real friend next to you.
The dog was given to the ASPCA to be checked out. Carol Diori at 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM in East Flatbush.
Quick check of AccuWeather. We've, as John alluded to, we've got warm and sticky conditions, and it's going to get stickier tonight, especially with a thunderstorm around low 69. And then tomorrow, thunderstorm on a couple of occasions, downpours, gusty winds, high 78. Much warmer and more humid on Monday with the high temperature 86. Real feels near the 90s. And then Tuesday, hot and humid. For those of us who are not big fans of that weather, Tuesday is not going to be a great day, but it'll be a high of 89. The real feels approaching 100. Wins News Time 2:06. A 5-year-old girl is in stable condition after getting shot earlier today in the Bronx. Police say they're still looking for the shooter.
A beige Nissan sedan is sitting in the middle of White Plains Road with a single bullet hole through the trunk. Police say a 5-year-old girl inside the car was shot Friday afternoon, sitting in her car seat. She's at the hospital in stable condition. China Osuji heard it from inside a nearby laundromat.
I thought it was firecrackers, but after it was done after three after that, I knew it was gunshots.
Then she says she heard a woman screaming in agony that her child had been shot. Police say they're still working out what led up to this shooting. Steve Burns, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in the Williamsbridge section of the Bronx.
How to deal with two issues, truck traffic and stolen packages. How about lockers on the sidewalk? The city has announced a plan that will use electronic lockers that will be free to use 24/7. It's especially for those who don't live in doorman apartments and have no one to sign for them. A shipping company will deliver the package to a designated locker. The customer would receive a PIN or QR code to open the compartment and get the package. There'll be surveillance cameras to deter theft. The so-called smart lockers will be placed at 15 sites around the city, as yet to be determined. The company overseeing it, Go Locker, will operate the program under a 1-year pilot program by the Department of Transportation. A livery driver is bruised, but physically otherwise okay after being thrown out of his own moving livery cab by two suspects. Police say the two suspects got into the cab near Pelham Parkway North around 4 a.m., forced 52-year-old Ramon Pena out of the car. Fernando Mateo is a spokesman for the New York State Federation of Taxi Drivers.
We also want to make sure that we recover the vehicle, because right now his vehicle was stolen and he doesn't have the means of earning a living.
Pena says that in the 15 years of driving a livery cab, this is the first time he's ever been robbed and assaulted. Jeannie Dubnow is a tenants' rights activist. She's also a she's also a Holocaust survivor, I should say. And she got into it with Mayor Adams during a Washington Heights town hall meeting Wednesday, grilling the mayor on rent hikes recently approved by the Rent Guidelines Board. The mayor felt she was speaking to him disrespectfully and compared her to a plantation owner. She told the Daily News that the mayor's remarks to her were, quote, a little bit like Trump. And then she spoke to 1010 Wins.
He's a landlord stooge, and he's the enemy of tenants in New York City. That's the main thing that I wanted to talk about. And he just obviously was not going to answer because there's no answer. He has no answer.
The mayor doubled down in an interview on 1010 Wins Friday, saying, and I quote here, I'm just seeing this disrespect that we are displaying, not only locally, but nationally, disrespect to police officers, disrespect to religious groups when they are in our city, disrespect to everyday people delivering services, and it needs to stop. Wins News Time 2:09, traffic and AccuWeather up next.
You can host the best backyard barbecue. You find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Ay, mija, abuelita's on her way and I still need to shop for the party.
No worries. Let's order Instacart.
Instacart?
See, Emma, we can order groceries and more online and get everything delivered in as fast as an hour.
Everything for dinner? Carne, tortillas, limas, plátanos.
Claro. Anything else?
Just make sure the plátanos are ripe.
Get groceries delivered same day with Instacart, so you have more time for family. Visit instacart.com to get free delivery on your first order. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum order $10. Additional terms apply.
This summer, go to the movies. Projected on the side of a mountain. Discover a new favorite restaurant. Your campsite. Find yourself when you lose your signal. Discover a new playlist. Mother Nature. Make your summer special at the Kia Summer Sales Event with a dependable Kia SUV or powerful sedan. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. Event ends 7/5/23.
It'll be overtime all the time with the nonstop excitement of 3-on-3 Pro Hockey hits the Prudential Center Ice on Wednesday, July 19th at 7 p.m. 3 Ice is bringing the best part of hockey to Newark with a new brand of the game the whole family will love. The speed, the skill, the hair-on-fire hockey action. It's the coolest thing out there this summer. Buy your tickets today at 3ice.com or prudentialcenter.com and see what the hockey world is talking about. 3 Ice, the best part of hockey.
Wins News Time, 2:11. That's time for traffic and transit. Here's Russ Meyer.
We got some trouble on the Harlem River Drive to begin with, bud. We have got crash northbound side over by 155th Street, taking out a lane. So that's going to tie traffic back to the RFK Bridge. And let's get some numbers for those traveling from New Jersey into New York. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Really getting hammered now at the George Washington Bridge. It's close to an hour for the upper level, little less, about 45 for the lower level, if you can scoot over to that approach. And how about the Lincoln Tunnel? That's about 25 minutes. And traffic at the Holland Tunnel, that depends on where you're coming from. From the New Jersey Turnpike approach, you'll save some time. But the 139 approach, that's going to be close to a half hour. Also looking at New Jersey Transit. Maine, Bergen County, and Port Jervis rail service is subject to 50-minute delays in both directions because of a signal issue, and that is over near Ridgewood. They are dealing with that. Our next report is at 2:21. I'm Russ Meyer. 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Between getting the kids up and ready for the day, picking them up from school, helping with homework, life feels like it won't stop. Sometimes all you want is to stop and enjoy a peaceful moment with your family or even just by yourself. Solo Stove fire pits are the simplest way to relax around a crackling fire without all the smoke other fire pits make. With Solo Stove, it's never been easier to gather around the fire. Visit solostove.com. Enjoy a roaring fire and good times with loved ones with Solo Stove.
Let's get the all-important forecast for the holiday weekend. Here's AccuWeather's John Furyk. John?
Yeah, times of hazy sunshine and clouds out there for the rest of the afternoon. Warm. We'll top out at 83. Air quality has improved certainly since yesterday. Should continue to improve as we head through the next 24 hours here. Warm. More humid for tonight. We're down to 69, and later on we'll see a shower thunderstorm. And then sticky for tomorrow. Clouds, some sunshine, a couple of heavy thunderstorms in the area, maybe steady winds with those storms. We'll top out in the upper 70s. Then uncomfortably warm and humid Monday. Clouds, some sunshine, a couple of drenching thunderstorms around. We're up to 86. Then for the 4th on Tuesday, hot and humid, maybe a pop-up storm, but a lot of the day should be dry. We're up to 89. Right now in Central Park, we've got 82 with some sun, going up to 83 in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist John Furyk on New York's weather station, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Thank you, John. Wins News Time 2:13. Coming up, a momentous week at the Supreme Court.
You can feel it right now. You can hear it. It's all around you. It's the air we share. As the world's #1 air conditioning company, Daikin is committed to perfecting the air that connects us all. Where we work, where we play, and where we grow. Because at Daikin, nothing is more important than perfecting the air we share. Perfect your air with Daikin. Visit perfectingtheairny.com.
Some companies are big, others are small. To Robert Half, their hiring needs are equally huge. At Robert Half, our specialized recruiting professionals elevate their expertise with proprietary AI tools to transform candidate discovery, assessment, and selection. Whether sourcing talent locally or in any geography that works for you, Robert Half can pinpoint hard-to-find candidates in finance and accounting, technology, marketing and creative, legal, and administrative and customer support. At Robert Half, we know talent.
Whether your dog is in their puppy, adult, or senior years, there's nothing better than more years together. And the best way to feed their happy, healthy life is with fresh, healthy food. The Farmer's Dog makes it easy to keep your best friend healthy inside and out with fresh recipes made from real meat and veggies. They're pre-portioned just for your pup and delivered right to your door. Help your dog live a healthy life and get 50% off your first box of real fresh food at thefarmersdog.com/betteryears23.
You don't need to get personal, like revealing orange juice commercials make you cry, to get the State Farm personal price plan. Just call or go to statefarm.com for a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
When's news time? 2:15. As expected, it was quite a week at the Supreme Court with rulings against affirmative action, ending President Biden's student loan program, and Friday's ruling in favor of a wedding website designer that is seen as a defeat for gay rights. Website designer Lori Smith argued that artists would be forced to do work that is against their beliefs, and the court sided with her 6-3. The three dissenting judges argued that the decision ultimately allows a public business to discriminate and to do so openly.
For Lori Smith, who says her religious beliefs compel her refusal to serve gay couples with their wedding websites, vindication.
Free speech is for everyone, and the court affirmed today that the government cannot force anyone to say something it doesn't believe.
Colorado's Attorney General dismayed.
When a business opens its doors to the public, they've got to serve everybody. For the first time, there's now an exception to that rule, and that exception is going to do untold damage.
It's correspondent Terry Moran. As for the court striking down the president's plan to eliminate college debt for millions, the president says he has a backup plan.
Biden's original plan to forgive up to $20,000 for some borrowers was the fulfillment of a campaign promise.
It's good for the economy. It's good for the country.
President Biden vowing to try again with a new debt relief plan under a different law, the Higher Education Act, but he warned it's going to take time.
We'll use every tool at our disposal to get you the student debt relief you need and reach your dreams.
Starting in October, borrowers will also have to restart their federal loan payments when a 3-year pandemic pause comes to an end.
It's correspondent Rachel Scott. There's a new report out about the withdrawal from Afghanistan.
The State Department released on Friday an unclassified after-action review of the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, faulting both the Trump and Biden administrations for insufficient planning for what became the frenzied and ultimately deadly exit from Kabul in 2021. The partially classified review said both administrations failed to consider worst-case scenarios or make clear decisions about the scale and scope of the operation. It said U.S. personnel on the ground faced an overwhelming volume of calls that hindered their ability to move people out.
It's correspondent Olivia Gazis. It's already been a long season for the Mets and their fans. Starting today, 10 games under 500. I'm not sure if it's cause for laughter or tears that today, July 1st, is Bobby Bonilla Day. Every year on July 1st, the former Met, Bobby Bo, gets a check for more than $1.1 million from the Mets, as he has and will every July 1st from 2011 through 2035. In 2000, the Mets agreed to buy out the remaining $5.9 million on Bonilla's contract. Instead of paying Bonilla the $5.9 million at the time, the Mets agreed to make annual payments of nearly $1.2 million for 25 years, starting July 1st, 2011, including a negotiated 8% interest. Ergo, Bobby Bonilla Day, every July 1st. When's news time? 2:18. Headlines up next.
Life is complicated, folks. Sometimes the world makes a lot of background noise, and all you really want to do is enjoy the peacefulness of the backyard with friends and family. Solo stove fire pits are the simplest, fastest, and safest way to relax around a crackling fire without all the smoke the other fire pits make. With a solo stove, it's never been easier to gather around the fire and take it easy. So take it from me. I use mine all the time. Even bought some for the guys right here on the show. Visit solostove.com to find hundreds of 5-star reviews and see just how simple relaxing can be.
This summer, go to the movies. Projected on the side of a mountain. Discover a new favorite restaurant. Your campsite. Find yourself when you lose your signal. Discover a new playlist. Mother Nature. Make your summer special at the Kia Summer Sales Event with a dependable Kia SUV or powerful sedan. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. Event ends 7/5/23.
Is your check engine light on? Let our professional parts people scan and diagnose the problem for free. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
There's a special sales event going on now at all Food Bazaar supermarkets. Get extra special savings in every department. Fresh meats, seafood, fruits and vegetables, mountainous displays of your favorite groceries, and the largest selection of international foods. But first, download the Food Bazaar Rewards app to start earning your way to free groceries. And be sure to enter the $35,000 summer cash giveaway going on now. No purchase necessary. It's the special sales event at Food Bazaar Supermarket. Go to foodbazaar.com for more.
At PPAC Private, we know that dreams can lead to great achievements. And that path, from dream to reality, takes planning, hard work, and determination. Our wealth managers understand our commitment to client success. We're dedicated to providing the guidance that helps them achieve it, generation after generation. While others dream, PPAC clients achieve. For advice and planning, investment management, and trust and fiduciary solutions, visit ppacprivate.com. Not FDIC insured, no bank guarantee, you may lose value.
Watching the fireworks is only half the experience. Crank up the music that goes with the spectacular on the only station that has it. 1010 Wins, the exclusive partner of the Macy's Fireworks Show, now in crystal clear audio on 92.3 FM.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. It's 82 degrees at 2:20. I'm Bud Mishkin. Here's what's happening. On the road, on the rails, and yes, even in the skies, it is a busy travel weekend. Did you hear about the decision made by the head of United Airlines amidst the many woes of his airline this week? About what are all those bugs doing in New York City this week? More than 1,300 people have been arrested in France after 4 nights of rioting stemming from the deadly police shooting of a 17-year-old boy. And will TV and film actors be joining screenwriters on the picket line? Contract expired last night. Two sides have agreed to extend the deadline through July 12th. Sports, the Mets and the Giants back at it this afternoon at Citi Field later on. The Yankees are playing a day-night doubleheader in St. Louis. They got rained out last night. Wins News Time 2:21. That's time for traffic and transit. Here's Russ Meyer.
Let's check out the drive on the east side of the northbound side of the Harlem River Drive is going to be tied up from around 135th up towards the GWB. We got a crash just before the bridge blocking a lane. Also, on the northbound side of Whitestone Expressway, this has been going on for quite some time now. The northbound Whitestone Expressway is just at a standstill coming from Northern Boulevard up towards the Whitestone Bridge. This was a vehicle fire. It was all lanes subject to closure. Now just the left lane is closed off, but it's not going anywhere. That is not the way to get up to the Whitestone Bridge. Meanwhile, over at the Clearview, that's actually doing quite nicely this afternoon. Cross Island Parkway is good northbound, but southbound is jammed up off the Throgsneck all the way down to the LI. Now here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Once you get there, the Whitestone Bridge is now moving okay in both directions. It's a little busier going into Queens at the Throgsneck over at the RFK Bridge. That has delays Bronx bound, but going into Queens, things should be all right. Manhattan bound as well. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. Nothing major for the LIE, Northern State or Southern State. And the support is sponsored by your local Mazda dealer. The first ever Mazda CX-90 is here. The only 3-row SUV offering the performance of an incline 6-turbo engine and the craftsmanship of a hand-stitched leather interior. Experience the Mazda CX-90. Visit your local Mazda dealer or Mazda USA for more information. Our next report, 2:31. I'm Russ Meyer, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Yes, I'm gonna be a star.
Drive my car, said millions of people across the country this weekend. You may have heard it's a pretty big travel weekend, here, there, and everywhere.
AAA says nearly 51 million Americans will travel over the 4th of July weekend. Many are still complaining about gas prices, even though they're down about $1.50 a gallon from this time last year.
I was out this morning and saw, it says, another 10 cents, increase in price.
The reality of it is, I think it's going to even get more expensive.
Oil industry insiders say that's not likely anytime soon.
This correspondent Jim Kasula, all of the airlines were hard hit by the bad weather and snafus that made traveling by plane A bit of a nightmare this past week, but United Airlines was most affected, and a decision by the person running United did not look great.
The CEO of United Airlines is facing some criticism in the travel chaos this week. Even he couldn't get a seat on a United flight, so he took a private jet. Well, he's now apologizing for that. He says that was insensitive to the many people who were stuck waiting to get home.
Correspondent Trevor Alt. As for the not-so-friendly skies that the rest of us have to breathe, it is getting better, but we're not out of the woods yet. AccuWeather's John Feerick with an update.
Today is probably the best beach day of the weekend, as it does look like we'll see some showers and storms move in. The air quality has improved today. It will continue to do so gradually as we head through the next 24 hours, but we will again see some showers and storms in the area tomorrow, and more thunderstorms are likely as we head into Monday.
So we've had unhealthy air quality and myriad travel issues this week, and we also have bugs. Clouds of tiny bugs swarming around parts of the city. Jody Gangloff-Kaufman is an entomologist and a professor at Cornell University. She says they are aphids.
Can they harm crops? For sure. Aphids are a big problem in agriculture. But in the city, on street trees, it's not going to be an issue.
She says that the sudden arrival of high temperatures, increased humidity, and recent rainfall may have created the perfect environmental conditions for the aphid populations to explode. When's News Time 2:25, Money Watch up next.
Life is complicated, folks. Sometimes the world makes a lot of background noise, and all you really want to do is enjoy the peacefulness of the backyard with friends and family. Solo stove fire pits are the simplest, fastest, and safest way to relax around a crackling fire without all the smoke the other fire pits make. With a solo stove, it's never been easier to gather around the fire and take it easy. So take it from me. I use mine all the time. Even bought some for the guys right here on the show. Visit solostove.com to find hundreds of 5-star reviews and see just how simple relaxing can be.
When's News Time 2:26, now Bloomberg Money Watch.
Just about every automaker sells electric vehicles now, but when it comes to their batteries, the Biden administration is betting on one. Ford's gotten a $9.2 billion federal loan to build 3 new battery plants. It's all part of CEO Jim Farley's plan to ramp up EV production big time.
2 million EVs annually by the end of 2026.
Bloomberg's Keith Naughton reports the money's coming from an Energy Department program that's been dormant the last decade or so.
That was the period in which China was investing billions and billions into developing the battery infrastructure that they now lead the world in.
China has owned the chip market and they've owned the battery market.
Daryl Cronk is with Wells Fargo Investment Institute.
To move it to other parts of the world, both from a supply chain standpoint, but just a diversification standpoint, requires a huge amount of investment.
Bloomberg's Keith Naughton says there is more to come.
There's a $400 billion pool of DOE money, so this is just the start.
Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Nathan Hager for 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.